at those different phases. So there's the 4 C's across that strand. So as we begin, we're going to begin with connecting and discussing. There's live video feed in every single project. So I love that part about it, and we'll be looking at the live video feed in just a second. Then Foundation 2, you can see how, in Foundation 3, where we start to begin to model reality. I'll tell you this little story. When I first went to my training, there's a recycle truck that they can build. And it recycles by the shape of the trash that you build and put in the back of your truck, right? Well, when I think of a recycle truck, I think of a truck who backs in, right? And then the truck bed lifts, and the trash goes out. Well, the way they designed the build is, the only thing that moves is the truck bed lifts. I'm like, well, the truck doesn't even back up. That's like ridiculous. So I ended up getting a second motor and building a way for the truck to move and lift. So kids can add to. That's one of those examples to where they may think, oh, well, we could just use a second motor. Okay, where you got your second motor, make it work. And they can figure that out. So there are no building directions for that. That might be an open task that you would work on. So here's what the whole package looks like, the components. We've kind of already talked about that a little bit. Your parts in your kit, in the bottom, you have something that looks like this. This is your battery pack. Now, you can buy, no, not yet. They're working on rechargeable battery. This has AA battery. The only thing I would say is be sure and take your batteries out at the end of the year. Don't leave them in there all summer because they heat the rest of your battery. You have that battery. Okay. So it's Bluetooth, so it's not connected to any computers or anything, like the old WeDo, which is computer connected. So this is going to help us with that. You will, there's a charger there, so you can charge that. And then we have the, well, actually they do have an extra battery pack there, supplemental you can buy. And we have the motor and 2 sensors. Now, who has WeDo2? Anybody have WeDo2 at their school? Okay. What I was going to say is the parts from WeDo2 are interchangeable as long as you use this battery pack and the motors for this. You could use WeDo2. Some schools have WeDo2 still. But WeDo2 is not Bluetooth. It's a little bit different process. All right, so we're going to start. We're going to start with Mylan. So what I'd like you to do is grab an iPad. Let's see. You will need one. And do we have a couple of extra? Who else has a kit back there with no iPad? You guys have one. Do you have one? Everybody have one? All right. So I'm going to switch over real quick to the iPad so you can see my iPad here. All right, so go ahead and go ahead and find on your iPad that app button and click on it. And you should get this screen.
With 2.0, is that it?
WeDo 2.0. Now, I'm going to try, let's see if we've got sound. So I'm going to ask you to go ahead and play your sound, play your video. I'm going to give you a little intro. So that's an overview, and you can share that with your students as you start on the big screen from your iPad or from your computer. Now, many of these have, I'm going to borrow this because this seems to have a lot. Many of them have these. This means that kids yesterday tried to make some and they didn't quite get finished. So the way that you get rid of these is you just put your finger on it until the X comes up, and then you can just delete them. So if you have some during the day that you don't want, you can delete those out if you want whenever. So that's the first part of it. If the iPads at some point today do not open, the key is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's your code. So let's talk a little bit about the screen. So this is your opening library. So if you'll click on that. When you click there, you will see all the projects. So let's talk about the projects first. So this is your palette. This is the opening project. So these are the 4 we're going to concentrate on first. We're going to build Milo, then we're going to add the motion sensor, the tilt sensor, and then we're going to collaborate. So once we get through that, that's not going to interact. Then we have the guided projects. So there are 8 guided projects that you're going to want to look at to choose from and work from. One is pulling, obviously force and motion, right? One is measuring speed. We have robust structures, that's your earthquake table. We have frog metamorphosis. We have plants and pollinators. Somebody might want to build that one. It's a bee that uses the motion sensor to pollinate. We have flooding gates. We can talk about Katrina. We can talk about lots of floods in recent times. And they build a floodgate. Drop and rescue. We can talk about how we get things to remote areas in countries, like when we have to drop first aid in or medicine in, or when we have to rescue somebody. And then we have sort to recycle. So these are your guided ones. And then we have 8 open ones. We have predator and prey, animal expressions, extreme habitats, space exploration, the hazard alarm, cleaning the oceans, wildlife, and moving materials. These topics come from ideas that they've used up here, right? So, for example, sort to recycle, cleaning the ocean. Moving materials might be drop and rescue. So they're going to use like robotic ideas from those topics that they've already done to move into open projects. That's why you never want to jump here without having done that first. So, okay, so we're going to go back up and we're going to click on Milo. And the one thing I would like for them to change, if I could ask them to change anything, would be this gray print. To me, I don't like that gray print, but they can ask me about that. So it says, in this project, you will explore different ways scientists and engineers reach remote areas, create and program Milo the Science Rover, and document how Milo can help you discover a special plant specimen. So you're going to be looking for a plant specimen. So the first thing we have to do is we have to build Milo. We are going to hit go. And it gives you your learning targets for the lesson. Max and Mia are the 2 people who are always in this project. They're the resident scientists, I guess. Max and Mia are ready to explore the world and make some great discoveries. They will need some help, especially to explore remote places in order to find a special plant specimen. So I'm going to see if my video will play up here so you don't, because there's not really sound much. There's a little bit, but yeah. So this is the live feed. Different kinds of drones and things that we use, different kinds of things we use to explore remote places. It's hard to see with the light. So you could introduce the kids to the ideas of how do we explore places that we can't go. Brainstorm a little bit, show them some live feed, and then we're going to click that arrow at the top, and we are going to begin the question. What do scientists and engineers do when they cannot go to where they want to explore? So we're going to keep clicking that arrow until we get to building directions. This shows you kind of what it's going to do when you build it. We're going to do a little bit more than that with it. And these are your building directions. Now there's a little interesting thing about this. We've been clicking this arrow till we get here, but this is the arrow you're going to click to move through your directions, not this one, okay? So I'm going to let you go ahead and begin to build Milo. Before you start, though, I want to say one thing. There are lots of pieces in this kit, and I would say that these pieces are not your normal Lego pieces, right? So you have to be careful with the kids and the kits, because they don't have these at home, right? And they don't have these at home. And one of the things that I find is that kids like to take them home, right? So I have some ways to keep that from happening as much as possible. We number, now these, some of these are not, I don't know if we've numbered, yeah, this one has not been numbered yet, but we have numbers that go on the kits. He has number 7. That means every time he comes in my classroom, he and his partner are gonna have kit number 7. And they need to understand that whatever is in kit number 7, that's what you get to work with. You can't borrow a piece from Ara, you can't get a piece from anywhere else. So let's leave the pieces there, because otherwise you gotta figure out how to engineer it without that piece. The other thing is I have them inventory the kits twice a year. Once before Christmas, once before the end of the year. And they inventory, I'm not inventorying, right? Okay. So then the other thing, and you'll probably laugh, but it is a good idea if you have some great 5th graders with some good handwriting, or some good middle schoolers with good handwriting, or some great parent volunteers, to put the number of the kit on as many pieces as possible. Because if I find this on the floor 4 days from now, and I've got 20 kits in my classroom, I'm going to have to sort them all to find out which one is missing it, right? But if I have a 7 on it, I know right where it goes. Now, there are going to be some pieces you can't do that with, the sticks, for example. Now, I want to talk about the sticks for a second, because this is something people always ask me, how do I know how long it is? Because in the building directions, they just went away. In the building directions, you'll see a stick and it'll have like a 3 beside it. That does not mean you need 3 sticks. That means you need a size 3 stick, right? The way you know is you lay it down, and however many holes it covers is how long it is. So that's your measurement tool. It's non-standard measurement tool right here. So I'm going to let you go ahead with a partner or by yourself and click through the directions and begin to build Milo. And when you are finished, I will help you Bluetooth, and then we will get moving with it.
You have to stay with the same color that it's shown.
They should all be, I mean, you shouldn't have any problem with that.
Oh, okay. I didn't do that.
You should have everything you need in the kits. I sorted them yesterday before I left. But if, because we had kids using them yesterday. If you're missing a piece, we have extra kits, so that's not a problem. Please feel free to help us up the copy whenever.
Oh, gotcha.
Now, there are no written directions, however, if you have a child who, can't read a computer screen for a certain amount of time, you may consider screenshots and prints of the directions just to have a couple sets in case that happens.
Oh, this is separate. There you go.
It's gonna be the best way for me to send that.